but a judge recently left him off the hook, meaning he won't have to pay $300 in fines. Now, Avi Levy is a lawyer with Ticket 911. He's here to explain why. Good morning.
Good morning.
So how did he get around this rule?
Well, the judge basically decided that it wasn't a huge transgression of the law, and in fact, it was fairly possible for a person, so his wife in this case, sitting in the passenger seat next to him, to be holding the phone and showing him the phone. What I understand is that he was actually on a speaker speaking on the phone and looking at directions on his GPS as well. And the judge said, listen, it's a small transgression. It's a minor detail. And basically, if I find this gentleman guilty based on that, then the general public will feel that the law was sort of unreasonably applied. And I guess he wasn't entirely wrong, because it's not unreasonable to have somebody nowadays, a passenger next to you, holding the phone and sort of showing you the way, as opposed to having a stand affixed to the dashboard of the car.
So if I understand this correctly, then, in terms of following the proper rules, it's okay if the device is in somebody else's hand, but then why was he was pulled over initially because he was looking at the device in his wife's hand?
Yeah, he was pulled over initially because the police officer, in strictly interpreting the law, said it has to either be fixed to the car or fixed to a stand. And in this case, it wasn't. His wife was holding the phone. So they pulled him over and said, hey, you're making use of a cell phone under the new law, which is their interpretation of the law. And they
Okay.
gave him a ticket.
So do you think
And they
the judge was right to waive this fine?
I think that the judge was right to acquit the gentleman, because it wasn't unreasonable that a wife could be sort of replacing, or the passenger next to him could be sort of replacing the stand,
Right.
and it doesn't increase the level of danger or that kind of stuff.
Right.
But it is
Interesting.
new. It's a new application. It's a new twist of the law, which was what makes this case interesting.
Certainly does. Abby, I want to tell you a story because we often hear sort of negative stories about police officers. Will you bear with me for a second to tell
Sure.
you a nice one? I was pulling out of the parking lot here at the Bell Media Studios, and I was turning left on the street where we share a building with a police station. So there are a number of police cars, and I was sort of getting my ways, going. And so I
Yeah.
did look down, consult my phone, and I looked down for like just a quarter of a second, and a police officer pulled out in front of me to the point that I had to slam on my brakes, and my teapot went flying, and so on and so forth. And then he went in front of me, and he turned on his lights, and was pulled over to the side. And I pulled up beside him, thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to get a ticket now. And literally all I did was look down. So I rolled down my window, sort of with a look of confusion on my face, and he said in French, but he said, good morning. I really just wanted to apologize to you because I pulled out in front of you.
Oh,
And
wow.
I said, you're apologizing to me? I didn't say, I thought you were going to nab me because I looked down at my
Right.
cell phone. I said, you're actually taking the time to apologize to me? And I thought that was exceptional. I said, you, sir, have made my day. And I thanked him for that, because how
Wow.
often does a police officer apologize to another driver? Anyway,
Right.
that's my feel-good story for the day.
That's a great one.
Avi, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anytime.